Hello everyone, my name is Shane Mitchum. I'm a pre-sales engineer here at CVISION Technologies. Today I'm going to cover a brief introduction of our most commonly used settings in our PdfCompressor product. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up our PdfCompressor user interface here. And this is going to take me right into the main user interface. You'll see a pop-up here for the quick setup wizard. We'll cover that in another video. Today we're just going to stay on the main user interface page here. Let me expand this a little bit so it's a little bit easier to see. What you'll also see here, first thing I'm going to do is revert to factory settings. It's always a good thing to do when you are starting from scratch and trying to figure out the best settings to use. Let me kind of show you the input files that I will use for today's demonstration. I have a couple tips here that are just pretty plain business documents, so I move through them here. We have a color page from a Business Week magazine, as well as, if I go back one here, another page from another magazine. Full color documents. The two business documents are fairly small already, 30 kilobytes for the one, 20 kilobytes for the other, as well as the pages from the magazines. One is 11.7 megabytes and the other is 7.2 megs. So what I'll do is, the first thing, I will take this, drag and drop it into the documents to compress space down here. You can do that from any Windows Explorer window, any desktop, any way you'd like to do it, and you can drop folders or files. You can do it from there, or we also have an integrated browser here where if I go down to desktop, I can actually drag and drop it in here as well. The next pop-up that you'll see is a Set Folders Properties pop-up. What this allows you to do is define your input and output folders. They default to be the same, so what I'll do is I'll just keep it that way. That way the output files will end up right where the input files are. We do have the ability to include subfolders. Should you have a directory tree, we'll be able to drill down to each level. We have the ability to merge files into a single output file, as well as these are the types of documents that we accept as valid input files: TIFFs, PDFs, JPEGs, bitmaps, GIFs, PNGs, JP2s, J2Ks, some of the rare formats that we don't see too much, but we do have support for those. Also, you see down here job control options. This allows you to control what happens to the processed or the original files. You have the ability to leave those in the folder, or you can delete those or move them to an auxiliary folder. We'll just actually leave them right where they are. That way it'll be easier to compare them. Also, you see down here a Move Failed Input Files to option. Basically, if a file does not pass through our software successfully, we have the ability to copy that to an auxiliary folder as well. So I'll actually uncheck that here. It's not necessary for this demonstration. And I'll select OK. A couple options you'll see on this main page here. We have the ability to run in multiprocessing mode. So what that means is we will process one document per core of the machine. So should you have a quad core machine and you're processing 4 documents in the input folder, there are 4 documents in your input folder, we will give you the ability to process each one of those documents at the same time. That'll dramatically increase the processing speed of the software. Also, you see the ability to overwrite any existing files. That does exactly what it says, where if you have a PDF by the same name in that folder, when the output folder is created, or the output file is created, we will overwrite the original input file. Alright, let me move on to image processing here. So I'm, like I said, just going to cover some of the most commonly used features. One that's not on by default is despeckling. What that does is removes those little stray black dots that you get from most of the older scanners. You'll see them scatter all over the page. It's aggressive, so it should be tested before putting into a production environment. Also, you notice on the bottom here we have the ability to resample images. You can resample, upsample, or downsample each image to a particular DPI of your choosing. What that allows you to do is ensure a uniform document across your entire company. We also have the ability to remap a color space. So should you want to force all grayscale or color documents to black and white, you can certainly do that. The space savings when you do that is incredible. If you know that all your documents coming in are black and white, it's normally a good idea to also turn this on, so that way you will always guarantee you'll have a black and white document. I'm going to move down to the PDF input processing page. One of the main features for PDF input is the rasterization feature. What the rasterization feature does is when you pass a PDF to our engine, we will take that PDF apart, deconstruct it, and pass it to our engine as a pure image. What that allows us to do is build that PDF from the ground up, and making sure that we're using the latest compression techniques and giving you the smallest output file that we can. If you have Do Not Rasterize selected, otherwise known as Stream Mode, what that will do is it will take a PDF generated by a third-party product and try to apply a layer of compression on top of it. So there are some limitations when doing that due to the fact that we can't change the structure of that PDF that was created by that third party. Next, we do have the ability to auto-rotate files. So should a person scanning a file scan it in maybe upside down or sideways, we'll be able to correct the orientation using this feature. It also has the ability to correct a skew. So maybe that file was scanned in the correct way, but it's a little bit tilted left or right. We can actually fix that and make it completely straight, completely readable. This feature does take a little bit more time, so that's one thing to note as you're going through your testing. Is it more important to you that you know for a fact everything's rotated properly, or that your processing speeds are a little bit faster? Next, we'll move on to output options. Here we have a couple different options. We have various types of Adobe Acrobat formats, all the way back to 4.x. So that's some older compression techniques. As the viewer got newer and newer, new compression techniques have been supported. So auto select will actually give you the latest and greatest technology that we have. We also do support PDF A1A and A1B. For those of you unfamiliar with what PDF-A is, it is a PDF spec that Adobe has released and guaranteed that their free viewer will always be able to read. So it just ensures that you have a document that's great for archiving that will always be able to be opened by Adobe's Reader product. Next, on compression, the only real setting that's pretty easy to change here would be the image quality setting. I wouldn't advise changing any of the other settings unless contacting support at CVISION Tech first. But image quality here, this allows you to increase the quality of the image. 7 is our default. There was a lot of testing done to come up with that number. When you move up to 8, it definitely increases the quality of the image and the sharpness of that image. However, it will also increase the size. That's one thing to keep in mind. As you bump up that image quality, the size of your document will also increase. If we move on to recognition, this is our optical character recognition. It's one of our staple features in our product. We have 4 different modes: real-time, fast, accurate, and super accurate. About 90% of our clients used fast and accurate. However, on a document where there's colored text on top of a color background, maybe some text is slanted, maybe it's sideways, you might want to use super accurate. However, if you're dealing with just plain simple textual information and you know the structure of your documents is pretty standard, then accurate or fast should definitely work for you. As far as languages go, you'll see down here the default languages are selected: English, French, German, and Italian, and Spanish. However, if you select change, you'll see here that there are 117 total languages that are available from CVISION via our language pack. We do support Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. Our language pack is available free of charge for download from our website at www.cvisiontech.com. And like I said, it's 117 different languages. A couple other features that we do have. We have the ability to generate an auxiliary data file. And what that will allow you to do is output a copy of the textual information from that document into either a plain text format, an XML format, a Microsoft Word format, and so on. We also do support Microsoft Excel. However, it really only looks good when you have data that is in a chart format within your image or your PDF document. Next button here is communications. What this allows you to do is actually process files that reside on an FTP site. We can use that FTP as a input location, an output location, or both. So we will download the files, process them, and output them wherever you desire. Document features is next. Here we have web optimization on by default. What that allows you to do is if a PDF is actually uploaded to a website and somebody's viewing it in a browser, let's say they want to view page 5, we'll actually load page 5 first before loading pages 1, 2, 3, and 4. That will allow the user to view exactly what they're looking for first without having to wait for the other pages to load. Next you'll see document info. What that allows you to do is add custom information to the document, whether it be the author, the title, the subject, any type of keywords you'd like to associate with that document. Followed by metadata. This allows you to add any type of key name you would like and any type of value text. So should you be taking this PDF and putting it into some type of custom application that does look for certain things in the metadata, you can certainly attach them here. Next we have annotations. So we allow you to add a header or a footer, any type of color font you'd like. Some of the presets that we have are date stamp, page number, and bait stamping. And we also give you the ability to add any type of custom text you would like to that document. We also allow you to cover whether or not you want it left aligned, centered, right aligned, as well as the margin spacing. We allow you to apply your own stamp to the document and your watermark. The only difference there is the watermark is laid under the text and the stamp is stamped over it. Not necessarily just the text, it could be stamped anywhere on the image itself. Then finally, security. We allow you to encrypt documents against opening and or editing. Some of the permissions are you cannot fill out the form once it's been locked, you can only do high resolution printing, and so on. So the next step is just to hit run job. This is actually asking me, I had a setting set up here in the baseline settings. I'm just going to select no. And now it's performing OCR. Now, one thing to keep in mind is as these documents are compressing and being OCR'd, it can take up to anywhere between 3 and 6 seconds per page for the OCR engine itself and the compression techniques. But it has completed, and we'll just take a look at the input files, or the input folder. So as you'll see now, I have 4 PDFs that were just created by CVISION's PDF compressor. We'll actually take a look at this Business Week magazine. This is the original file here. I'll just stick that over here on the left-hand side, and I'll open up the image or the PDF file here on the right. So as you can see, no visual degradation within the files. If I come over here and select Control A, you'll see it's fully text searchable, fully OCR'd. Let's search the word. Let's say I'm going to find the word Intel. And let's search. You'll see each space where Intel is actually there, which is a nice feature that we have. Also, one thing to note, and one of the main benefits of our product is that original file was 7.2 megabytes, where that output file is only 105 kilobytes. So that is just a huge rate of compression on that color document. If you want to take a look at one of the black and white documents here, so here's a black and white TIFF document that is only, sorry about that, it's only 20 KB to start with. We're able to take that document, bring it down to 10 KB. Again, no visual degradation, and it's fully OCR'd, fully text searchable. Alright, that about wraps up the first training here and the introduction to PdfCompressor 6.0. If there's anything you'd like to see covered in default, there will be training videos covering each tab of settings explicitly. Thank you.